What's up, Monica? Paul.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to mute all participants in the chat in the call right now. If you guys have any questions throughout the class, please feel free to type them into the chat window, or you can unmute yourselves at the end of the session. I will take questions at the end. My goal is to try and get you guys out of here in less than an hour. And this is the first time I'm doing this little YouTube introduction class. This is going to be a very intro level, just to start how you want to get your page set up and what are some of the things you want to be keeping in mind as you are starting to think about what kind of content and how frequently and how this particular network builds into the larger scheme that you guys are using for your marketing. For anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Anuj. I am the field marketing specialist here in Santa Cruz and Monterey County. As I said, today we're going over YouTube, and let's go ahead and get started. I am indeed recording this session. I will blast it out to everybody that is in attendance, as well as add it to my own YouTube page, where you can get not only the classes that I've already been taught, but a running list of everything that I'll be teaching in the future. So let's talk about YouTube, right? The big social networks that we talk about using, especially in today's space, given the current market environment, you've got Facebook and Instagram, which are essentially tied to each other because one is the owner of the other, and Instagram is still the largest social network in the space in regards to, a traditional social network. But when it comes to amount of viewers seen out of a particular website and how much traffic a particular website is getting, YouTube is still among the top. And we'll go over some of those stats in a bit. Gonna go ahead and just mute all one more time. Remember, everybody, for the courtesy of everybody in the class, please remember to keep your microphones on mute. Now, what I was talking about is you've got Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, which is a professional network that allows you to, essentially network with other professionals, both in industry as well as neighboring industries. And then there's YouTube. YouTube is an area where you can not only advertise, just like we talk about, or you've heard me talk about if you've attended any of my other seminars, where you advertise not only your business and your brand, but also the slice of life, peek behind the curtain that is who you are. So both buyers and sellers get an idea of what your personality is and who you are like as an individual, as well as they will discover what you're like to work with, what your process is, and get an idea of that curated personality that is your brand. Let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here. Now, I do have the stuff I'm going over today. I will send in that recap to you guys as well. So anything that I'm reviewing in regards to like web pages or slides or things like that, I will send to you guys as well. So let's go ahead to this first little window. I'm just going to talk about some brief stats that are important for YouTube to think about into the coming year. The first being YouTube has 2 billion users logged in, individual users that are using the platform every month. So what that means in regards to growth, in 2018, they were averaging about 1.8 billion users per month. So they've grown another 200,000 users per month in less than 2 years. This is a great space, as I said, to with regards to consumers and marketing. People love to hear with their eyes. This gives you the opportunity to show things to them and not just tell them or make your client read. Next, 70% of people that watch things on YouTube, or 70% of what people watch on YouTube is determined by the recommended algorithms. What does that mean? That means if you are feeding this system, just like any other social network, right? Consistency is key, and more so because this one is specifically tied into Google. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody again. Please make sure that everybody stays muted out of courtesy for everyone on the call. As I was saying, what that means is because this is tied into Google, your SEO or your search engine optimization, all of that organic stuff that you are doing to climb the ranks whenever anyone types your name into a search engine, the more content that you leverage out of this system, the better chance you have to, the more consistency you leverage content on this system, the better chance you have at a consumer stumbling into your video from another one if real estate is something they are looking at. So you really want to play these games in regards to making sure that content is scheduled regularly, or you have something going out not just to this specific channel, but on all the channels that you link with them. The internet is a web, pun intended, of marketing that you want to make sure you are leveraging. And if you've been to any of my other classes, specifically my website one, I talk a lot about how you want to guide everything back to your website, because that is the hub and point of contact for your business. Your website should lead out to these places, and all of them should guide people back to there where they can sign up for your mailing list and be on top of your newsletters and any kind of other direct mail marketing or direct email marketing that is going out. So consistency is just as key to that platform, just like it is any of these other ones. And this is just a really interesting Pew Research study that I wanted to bring up. This is from the beginning of 2019. And obviously some of these numbers have seen a huge jump. Things like Instagram and TikTok have seen huge spikes in usage thanks to the COVID-19 crisis. But what I really want to point out up here is that even still through all of this, almost 3 out of 4 adults use YouTube at some point in their day, and it is, for a lot of them, their most widely used platform. So just as important as you hear all of us talking about being on Instagram and being visual and being yourselves and promoting that brand on there, all of that stuff needs to be repeated and done on YouTube in the same way you think about repeating stuff on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, etc. So let's kind of dive in and let's look at a YouTube page real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys mine to give you an idea of the basis of what a consumer might be looking at when they land on one, and how you can kind of envision building one of these out. So you've got, just from a layout perspective, you've got your main header image, and I'm going to go into all of the nuts and bolts in just a second. But the important thing here is links. As I said before, everything should connect to everything else. My 3 main channels that I update regularly are my website, my LinkedIn, and my Instagram. And clicking on any one of these links will take you right to one of those resources. It's important that what I said was, just like when you're adding these kind of links to your website to have people get out to, it's the same thing on any of the social networks you're using. Do not put links to things that you are not updating. It's a really bad look for your brand. And the important thing is to be tight and focused on your marketing and make sure that if a consumer lands on any specific channel, the same message and premise is being conveyed across all of them. I don't use a Pinterest. I don't use my Facebook very often, so I don't have either of those linked here. And if I were to grow my commercial aspirations into one of those spaces, as I start adding it to my regular marketing schedule consistently, that's when you will see it added to a link out like this on things like social media channels as well as your website. Your creator side will have this customized channel and YouTube Studio option. This is where you will edit your channel as well as upload content. Again, we're going to go into all of that stuff in a minute. And what I've done here is the easy things to do in regards to creating your channel are always think about what's going to be the ask that I need my consumer, what are my consumers going to be looking for, what's the ask, and how can I guide them there quickly. My channel is only filled up with resources for Coldwell Banker agents. So I've grouped all of my classes here, and then anything else I'm uploading is currently going into the upload section. What I recommend agents do right out of the get-go is, you guys already have a ton of great content. If you're using Listing Concierge, you can grab those videos, I'll show you how to do that, and start uploading it into a playlist called My Listings and start there. Then you can also integrate, through the rest of your program on marketing how you're adding other content to this channel. I'll be doing a class on another day about content. We're not going to get too heavy into what should be here, but that's what you want to be planning from your landing page, right? What are we going to group things as? Do I want a section for listings? Am I going to have a section for community stuff? And then I'll have a section just about, the industry and my thoughts on the industry. Those are 3 great places to get started that you can guide traffic to. You'll see also you've got, just like you would on any other page, you've got an about page that will allow you to add in your bio, details for your business, and all of the same kind of standard information you want on an about page. This is one of those ones, just like your website and just like third-party profiles, you want to be very conscious of not only how the content is written in here, but what important things like keywords like real estate or homes you're looking for, or key phrases, keywords that that consumers are actively searching for things related to our industry. You want to make sure they're factored into a thing like your bio here. I'm getting another echo, which I think means somebody is unmuted. I'm going to go back and mute everybody again. As always, please remember, for the courtesy of everybody in the class, make sure you guys are all muted, and we are doing questions at the end. Moving on. Keywords are important, specifically not just here, but in every other avenue that you're using online. The reason I am harping on it here is, again, YouTube is owned by Google. Google is where the largest effort in regards to everything we do for your natural SEO growth is measured by your success on Google. So again, conscious things you want to think about. What's being said here is my bio. The bios coming back, from example, from Design Concierge are very consciously written to be engaging with specific keywords on the websites that our team anticipates these things being on. If you don't have a bio from there, I'll send out in the recap a great resource that kind of gives you an idea of what keywords are, because that's not what we're here to talk about today, and how you can build that into these networks that you're using. And then again, the rest of this menu bar on your home channel is going to be very self-explanatory. Videos are all going to show up there. The default is sorted by upload date, but your consumer can choose what they do from there. Channels that you feature can show up here. Discussions, if you create a running, much like a social network, if you post things to here, you add questions, you can add polls, all of that will show up on this side. And like with any YouTube layout, you've got your menu bar along the left. All consumers will use this to navigate through YouTube and end up on any specific section of the platform. Now, that just kind of covers the hub of what you see where. Now, how would you do all of this stuff, and what do you want to go about doing? The first important thing is creating your YouTube account. Now, anybody with a Gmail has a YouTube account. However, what you really want to do to best leverage the system, like you hear all of me and all of my colleagues talk about, is turn it into a business account. Instagram and Facebook have business accounts specifically because algorithmically they navigate and work with the platform differently than a consumer account does. And same thing here. YouTube has what are called branded accounts. And what are the advantage of branded accounts? Branded accounts. So my channel is only accessible through my Gmail by me, because it is not a branded account. I don't have, a business that I am necessarily operating. However, you guys do. A branded account, first of all, the standard account is only going to be named my name. So when you go to my channel is my name. If you have a branded account, you can change this to the brand's name, whether it's the William Smith Luxury Group or Tim Allen Properties or Kim DiBenedetto, like whatever whether it's your name or the business's team's name or whatever it happens to be. If you have a branded account, that change is where that is made. Also, the big thing about branded accounts that's different is, as I said, only I can access this. A branded account will allow you to designate access to team members. So you can add in additional Gmail accounts So if you have a marketing individual on your team, or you have another agent that is handling all of the marketing or the videos, or whatever you guys delegate, however your team operates, this way multiple people can access the platform and do what they need to do without you having to have one user exclusively in control of everything. And how is all of this done? So I'm going to go ahead and sign out of my account. You can do this two different ways. You can create your account on Gmail, but I always recommend is start here from YouTube, just because it's a hair easier. It's not that much different, but it's just a little bit easier. We're going to go right into sign in at the top right. Now, if you already have Google accounts signed in, for example, am using Google Chrome. I have several Google accounts signed in already. What I am going to do is use another account because I don't want my YouTube channel associated with any of my personal accounts. And like I said, I'm creating a business account. So I'm going to use another account, and we're going to create an account right here on the left. Now, big thing, not for yourself, but to manage your business. I'm going to click on that, and here we go. Just going to put in some info here and put in a new email. And create a password.
You don't have to do this if you already have a Google.
Go ahead, and I'll take the questions at the end, and we'll do that then. So moving on, or you can type it into the chat, and if you're worried you're going to forget it. But this way, in case it's something I'm going to answer already, we don't have to waste time on it. Once you've got your business account created, you'll notice a few separate things. It's going to have to verify the account. I'm not going to go through all of that right now because I don't need to create this account. But as I said, what it's going to allow you to do is create a brand name different from your username, and then you'll be able to delegate users, as you can see here. And I will send you guys this little handout that I've created that kind of has some of these steps in it. You'll be able to log into your channel, create a channel for the brand account. So if the brand name is Agent Luxury Group or blah, blah, real estate, whatever it happens to be, that's what the channel can be named, and not just your name. And then you can add brand identity by starting to upload your own, this is where things like the bio come in handy, the photograph that's being used on the page, all of the specific materials related to you and your business can start to be incorporated. Let me get to my page again. Give me 1 second. Can start to be incorporated right to the YouTube platform. And like I said, there isn't a whole ton of customization that we're talking about in regards to branding. So I'm going to go ahead and sign back in. But the real big convenience factor, as I've stressed a number of times, is it will allow you to delegate and create additional logins for team members. So when you start adding things like cover photos, updating things like, so once you've got the channel created, I'm going to hit this customize channel, and that's going to take us into the YouTube studio mode. This is where you not only will find out the analytics for your channel, that's going to be a whole other discussion for another day, but this is where you will do things like create additional sections for new content, posts, subscriptions. You can create playlists. You can have different kinds of video content that you can choose from these pre-created banners. It's a lot like working with any kind of website editor. If you've used anything from InTouch to GoDaddy, you've got pre-locked things that you can semi-customize in between. This is a big spot. The featured content is where I would shoot something like a welcome video, welcoming people to your channel and what you do. What does that content look like? I mean, it's really just a, who you are, where do you operate, and what is your brand about? I'll be doing, like I said, another class on content. And in my recap, I'll send you a couple of the agents that I work with that I think are doing a great job of this already, based on the time we've been together. So you can kind of get ideas. But the big thing I want to stress right now as we start talking about building these channels is be yourself. be you and be authentic. I don't know how many of you guys attended my class on virtual open houses and tours, but the biggest thing I stressed there, again, from one of my most successful agents who's been doing this for quite a while and has just leaned all the way in during the COVID-19 crisis, is that the average consumer does not care about what you look like or the overall production value. What they do care about is they want you to show up and provide real and relevant information, not only about the homes they are interested in, but about the community that they are looking to live in as well. When we talk about, and I'm sure you've heard some of my colleagues that you've worked with talk about establishing yourself as a figurehead or a mayor in your community. Pages like this, your Instagram and your Facebook, are where you can leverage content that you are making, both business and community related, to make sure that your brand is out there and advertised. And the reason why you put stuff on multiple platforms is purely for the reason that the videos that go up on Instagram TV don't feed the same SEO engine the same way videos that are going on YouTube do. But having those videos meta tagged with the same details and, you know, everything exactly the same but uploaded on two different platforms feeds algorithmically to the overall internet system that you've got multiple pages with the same video being viewed by separate users, allowing you to climb the ranks of the overall internet space, because you've got what the term would be is relevant content, and you've got people viewing your content on multiple channels regularly, and that's how you elevate your brand and your online footprint as a whole. And like, it all really stems back to making sure that this, as in YouTube, just like Instagram or Facebook or print marketing or, you know, newsletters, all of it has to fit into your plan in a way that works with the plan. It isn't shoehorned in and done on the fly, right? It should be calendared out just like anything else that you guys do. So here is where you would basically be introducing yourself to your clientele. I'll be making one of those soon for my channel. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but continue to check back and visit my page, and you'll see updates that, again, might give you ideas for how you can build that kind of stuff into your own network. Outside of editing the homepage, again, when we go into About, same thing. You can edit your location, add an email for business inquiries, add your bio. All of these are editable by clicking these little pencils in each of the categories. Adding links is just like it is in the InTouch system. Here you are capped at 5, and then whatever you choose, you will then put a description in for. So if you hover over the little home, it says website. Hover over Instagram, it says Instagram, just like it does here. And then I drop my links in and hit done, and everything will save. The discussions, as I said, this was where you would post things that you are adding to the channel, comments, things like that. If you need to remove things, that is done here. Channels you are featuring can be, so if you wanted to feature a channel, you would just be subscribed to it. And then anything you wanted to add to the featured side is back in the About section. This just plugs the channel on your home page. That's all it does. You would edit this side, edit the module, and then you would paste the link to whatever that channel is and add it. The videos will allow you to order the videos. Playlist will allow you to create playlists and add videos to that playlist. And that's about it in regards to the editing space. You get a header photo. There is a different way this photo will show up on web versus mobile versus tablets. It gives you a preview in that system. In my recap, I'll send you a link to the photo helper that will allow you to, if you've got, you know, a brand image that you're already using, to make sure that it'll fit and look good across all 3 programs or all 3 versions of the software that a consumer can specifically use. So that's creating these pages, right? The big thing is setting up the branded content getting the information on here that is relevant to you and your business, and then starting to think about what is the content that I'm going to put on here. So to wrap up, what I'm going to show you guys how to do is pull something like your listing concierge videos and get them on your system. So let's say I'm using William Smith as my example because he's one of the agents in my office and I know he's got a video that I can steal. So I'm going to pretend like I'm William and I'm going to go into my listing concierge account, and now I am in that specific listing, which is a Pebble Beach listing on Sunridge Road. And as you can see, all of your listing concierge stuff is always in here and ready to go. As soon as you see that television and video one complete, you can go in here and see that video on YouTube. Now, I believe if you email your listing concierge coordinator, they can send you that raw file so you have the video right away that you can download. However, if you just want to grab it and download it yourself, I will again send you the link where you can do so. And let's say I'm going to take this video, I'm going to walk you through these steps. I'm going to copy the link to share this video, right? And this is just the listing concierge commercial that is running. And we want to put this so we have that running content, because right now all of the good SEO boosts is just going to the At Home in Northern California page. We want all of that good content feeding your own page. So we're going to pull this off of here. I'm going to go to this YouTube downloader page. I'm going to paste my share link in here and hit start. That is going to give me my high-res download. I am going to hit download. Wait for the video to be converted. And just like magic, I can download that video and it will be saved into my downloads folder. Once that video has been downloaded, I can go back to my YouTube channel. I'm just going to copy this address because that way I know what video we are talking about here, or what listing we're talking about. I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel here, and we're going to click on this icon in the top right. So I'm going to go back to the home page just so it's a little bit bigger. It will always be right next to your beautiful profile picture. So when you go to this icon right here that says create, it's a camera with a plus icon in the middle of it, and we're going to hit upload video. That's going to bring us right to our video uploader where I can drag and drop my video file. If I go to the folder that it is in, which is my downloads folder, I can just grab this and drop it right in there. Or I can go the old-fashioned way, select a file. I can go into my downloads and grab that video, which is 4157 Sunridge, and blast off. Our video is uploading. Here we've got the title. I'm going to just leave it as the address. The description, we can insert here that beautiful description that you've got on your brochures. Or, whatever you would like to type in, but I would, again, consistency is key. So I would use whatever is on the single property website or whatever your general description for the property is. Go ahead and put that here. The thumbnail will automatically generate once the video has finished processing. You can add it to a playlist or create a new playlist if you don't have that playlist already set. So I'm going to put here, team listings, and make sure it's public. And now all of those will be added. I'm just going to check that box and they will get added to that listing page. This video is not made for kids, but we don't need to worry about that. There's no profanity or anything like that. If you say yes, it opens it up for the YouTube's kids section. Don't worry about that. It might screw up you algorithmically. If you say yes, just don't say yes. Next, you can add promotions or title cards if you would like to. There's a whole editor in here. Not going to go into this today. If you would like to play around with it, I recommend, giving it a shot. It can promote You can say if you've got one of those videos and you shoot an end card with you talking to the camera, and you do one of those for, to check out the playlist of all of my current listings, click on the video right here. And that's how you would pop in when you watch YouTubers pop in a link to another video that they're pointing to. That is where you would do that. Same thing with cards. If we're putting some kind of content that we want to build into the page or a notice or things like that, that's where all of that is done. Finally, visibility. You can make the video public. You can premiere it if you want to make it a scheduled premiere to allow it to be more of an event. And then you can blast that out to your sphere and, again, make a marketing event of it. Make sure you, let's say we've got a listing video going up on Monday, and I'm going to let all of my sphere know that, hey, everything's been prepped. It's going to go live. You can favorite this on YouTube and be notified when it goes out. And do the same thing on my Instagram. Remind people to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out your website. And again, build these call to actions in and utilize these one opportunity to advertise yourself on all of your platforms to remind everybody to hone back into one space. And if they want to be readily available and up to date on everything that you're doing, not just listing oriented, but community oriented, to sign up for your mailing list on your website. Make sure everything ties back to a nice, needed marketing web. Once everything is done, you hit publish and the video is ready to go. How do you manage it from there? Once the video is live, as you can see, I can grab this link. I can immediately share it to things that I want to. It is published and ready to go. When you are in the YouTube Creator Studio, this is what the back end looks like. These are your videos. And as you can see, you've got a video header. Visibility, are they public? Are they unlisted? Meaning anybody with the link can watch it, but without the link, the video won't show up on the platform anywhere. Private, only you can see it, or scheduled, pending to go live. If there's any age restrictions, things like that, you will see here. If you've had a copyright claim put against you for using music that isn't yours, you'll see that here. Usually copyright claims only matter if you are trying to monetize the video. This is the date it was posted, views, comments, likes versus dislikes. Now, when you're looking at a specific video, as you can see, when I hover over it, a lot of these different icons pop up. You've got details, will take you to video details. Analytics will take you to the analytics. Let's click on one of my older ones, and you can see video analytics, just like everything else, will let you know how you are performing. What do you need to do to change what you are doing to be better catered to the audience you are trying to create the content for? Remember, everything, regardless of whether it's YouTube content, Instagram content, listing marketing content, doesn't matter what you think about it. What does your consumer think? Does this spark joy to them? Is it going to make them curious and have a question that they want to ask me? Getting all of that data back, this is where it is done. The branded pages will look a little bit different because you get a little bit more data coming back, and you can link your Google Analytics account to branded content pages to be able to feed all of that information into one place. Also, if you are linking your Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel accounts into InTouch, if you're using InTouch as your CRM, you can have all of those analytics filtered to that location and look at your website analytics in one place as well. Moving on, now that I've digressed enough about analytics, the editor will allow you to, like it says, edit your videos. So for those of you that don't want to spend a ton of money on editing software, you've got the basics that you can do right here. Comments, obviously, you can look at the comments that are there, and subtitles. This is huge. There is a default encoder for subtitles that does a decent job. However, if you can work on pre-planning to either have a transcript of your video readily available for consumers or hard-coded subtitles, that is huge. The deaf community is someone that is rarely marketed to properly, and not just for people that are hearing impaired, but people that are in a position because they might be on the bus or they might be in public. They're interested in watching this video because they like the house, but they can't hear it because of where they're at. Now they can still get all the information they need through the subtitles that are on the system. that is and I'm going to go back to channel videos. That is the editor side of this. You've also got, you can edit the title description. You can promote the video through paid promotions, get a shareable link. You can download the video, or you can delete forever, which is what it sounds like. I understand this is permanent and cannot be undone, and delete, and the video is gone. Analytics, playlists, all those kind of things are available along this dashboard. I just clicked on playlist and it went ahead and dumped me into this section here. Let me go ahead and get out of that. Analytics on this platform will give you an overview of the entire channel, not just individual videos, as well as break down average viewing duration and views for each of those videos again, so you can take a look at the big picture or you can look at the individual pictures. You can also break down where that data set is coming from and get into a more advanced mode to really get into the weeds if you are interested in doing that. And that is it. I think that's all I'm going to cover. All of this stuff is accessed from the little photo hub right up here. Your channel is where everything lives. That's where I went in here to customize the channel. YouTube Studio is where I just was, where all of those videos are editable. And I am going to stop sharing my screen and turn this over for questions. Let's go ahead and check the chat. Also, you can feel free to unmute yourselves and let me know if you have anything you would like me to go over. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of these here in the chat. If you already have videos in your personal page, can you convert that into a business page? So you can... The long answer is no. Sorry, the short answer is no. The long answer is you can make your personal page the manager, one of the managers of that business page, but there's no way to, in the same way you would transition an Instagram from a personal to a business account, that doesn't happen with YouTube. You would have to re-upload the videos to that new channel, and then all of the analytics and views and everything would pertain to that new space. Is your channel name the same as your email address?
Hi.
Yes.
I asked that question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I asked that question. So how do you get a YouTube video to Instagram, or from Instagram to YouTube?
You wouldn't be sharing them, vice versa. You would be uploading. So the same way I uploaded that video to YouTube, you would be doing the same thing on Instagram. Let's say in your Instagram channel, you have a story highlight that is just your listing videos, right? You can upload all of those listing videos to like IGTV, but they would still be two separate uploads.
Right, but you say because you don't want to convert your personal page to a business page because you cannot use the functionality. Getting to Instagram is easier. I thought you say something about like that.
No, you always want to make sure you're operating on a business page, is what I said. So the only platform that allows you to transition from a personal to a business and retain everything is Instagram. But for consistency's purposes, you want to make sure everything is posted on all of the channels you are actively using. So you would essentially be doing, two uploads on both channels. But if you, for example, have a personal YouTube page, I would create a new one as a brand account, which is the business accounts, and then start re-uploading the content there, unless you already have a very strong following of, 100 or more people deep. Then, keep it as it is and keep leveraging it the same way you are. But everything like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube all operate algorithmically different on the back ends of their software, with business accounts different than consumer accounts. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. All right, the next question in here is,
starting your questions from the top or the bottom?
Looks like there's a little bit of echo, Gwen.
Are you starting your question from the top of the chat, bottom?
From the top.
So did you answer the branded YouTube account? How you get? How
If you don't have to create, so your question is the next one here. You don't have to create a new Google account if you already have one and you only use it for business. So the Google account, I was looking to see if I could find an answer to this for like my own page, and right now I don't, because I haven't been able to find if you can transition an existing Gmail account into a branded account. I'm still looking for that specific answer.
What about the question before? How do you get a branded YouTube account?
How do you get one? Is that was that very first thing that I started with. So if I go here, let me share my screen again.
So you would need a different email address for a branded page?
You do need a branded account. So to create can you guys see my my browser again?
I think so.
My screen share, is everybody looking at my YouTube page?
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to sign out again, so to create the branded page, what you're doing is essentially creating a new email, because as I said, I was trying to see if I could transition this email I had created for my YouTube page to a branded one, and I haven't been able to find that answer just yet. But if I were to use another account, I would be creating an account to manage my business. Now, if your current account is a business account, and this is how you had set it up originally, your YouTube will automatically create itself as a branded content page. And you'll know the difference because you'll be able to do things like designate additional users access to the YouTube page, as well as edit the name of the YouTube channel. I, for example, cannot edit my YouTube channel name because I don't have a branded content page. Does that answer the question?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Go
yes.
ahead and email me, Gwen, and then I can kind of get more into the specifics with you to see if I can figure it out.
Okay.
Next question is Cindy. Can you change brand name once created? Only if you have a brand account. So if you go through the, like when I was going to create a new account and you create an account for your business, that's where you will have under the, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. So let's go ahead and let me sign back into my account. So if let's go back to YouTube home. So when I sign in and I wanted to edit, for example, any of the profile information related to my either personal or branded account, what you would click on is, again, click on the icon that has your picture on it. And you will click on manage your Google account. And this is where all of that information will get handled. The next question is, oh, I lost the chat. Next question is, does the email address need to match your brand name? Again, not for the branded accounts. For example, my account, my name is the channel name because that's how the personal accounts are set up. They're consumer accounts. If you create a business account, you'll be able to change that name to match whatever you would like it to. Do you share the exact same content on multiple channels? Yes. As I've stated, consistency is key, and I mean, this is a long discussion for another time, but search engine optimization feeds off of not only consistency in posting on a current channel, but how much that content is linked across other channels in the internet and how many times it can reference that stuff back. I don't want to get too far into the weeds on that, but the short answer is yes, you want only on channels that you are going to consistently update. Don't add it to channels that you know, like, okay, I really want to get a Pinterest started, and then you know you're not going to add it to your calendar and spend, you know, a half hour doing stuff for Pinterest a week, then don't do it. If you already have videos on your personal page, can you convert that? I already answered that. How regularly should the YouTube channel content be updated with new stuff? That is more a personal question relating back to your own marketing plan. I have some agents like Jessica Wallace, who is one of the ones that I will include in the example that I send out. She is very structured in the same way that I would anticipate everybody I work with to about their marketing. Like, she's got a calendar, certain things have to get done by a certain date. If they don't, we've got stuff as backups that, you know, you can plug and play with, but at least every 2 weeks there is something going on that YouTube channel, whether it is community related, market related, or a listing related video. And then the Instagram side and the Facebook side and the more social network side is where you add in that little slice of life stuff by using stories to talk about, you know, the behind the scenes aspect or the curated personality that you are sharing. And again, how you want to manage that stuff between both resources is up to you. But a YouTube page, realistically, at least once a month, you want to get something on there, but build a schedule that works for you, that you know that you can stick to, because the only person who cares how regularly your content is updated is the audience that you are trying to speak to. Does the business page have more functionality? In YouTube, the functionality on the business side really just has to come to the way and how many users can access the platform. So the big difference is you can delegate and have other people get in there if they need to change things, as well as algorithmically speaking, it operates differently with YouTube than a consumer channel does. For posting market reports, updates on mortgage rates, etc., do you recommend using a YouTube channel or another platform like BombBomb? I'm looking to use this as a site directly to my base, not necessarily looking to hook viewers in, not necessarily looking to hook in new viewers. That is a great question. BombBomb is a really cool service. I've had agents that use them. I've had some experience with them. They're really good at giving you like ready-made prompts for content. This boils back down to, you know, what's your strategy and where do you see yourself being able to work on it consistently? YouTube, like with the stats I showed you, it's like Instagram, right? If you have any commercial aspirations at all, you need to be on Instagram. 1/7 of the planet uses Instagram more than once a day, and 75% of anyone over the age of 18 is using YouTube at least once a day in the United States. That's 3 out of every 4 people. That is not a small number. So in regards to brand recognition and building a space for yourself where it becomes easy to, again, push people back to your main hub, which is your website, that's where I would think about utilizing a platform like YouTube, just like you would any other one. The reason we harp on things like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram the most is because they're the largest and they get the most traffic, and there's nothing that's changing that anytime soon. Next question is, using the editor, is it simple to add JPEGs or PDFs to the videos? Simple, no. The editor is really just for, I mean, you can add JPEGs in pretty easily, but it's really just made to trim videos. There's not a lot happening in the standard YouTube editor that's going to be of major value to anybody. Things like iMovie or like Movie Maker and stuff like that will do a lot more for you. You downloaded the Sunridge video to post it. Can you also link another YouTube video to build a channel? That's where like featuring channels can come in handy, because what you're doing there is kind of adding to the SEO web by trying to stick yourself with other things. It's a real tricky situation because it's not the same way like Instagram or Facebook does. In the same way, like when you follow somebody, it builds a small connection into that new network. What really happens here is it's like adding another field of keywords algorithmically to another page that will then feed into the overall SEO machine that Google has to say, you know, for my case, Anuj Chaudhary, who works for Coldwell Banker, here's another resource where you can find these videos. And for me, it's the only resource because I'm not putting these things on Instagram or anything. So there's nothing else to tie it into outside of my name, YouTube, and here are things for Coldwell Banker. But if I were to put them other places, there would be more places for when you type just my name into YouTube for the internet to go out and grab things and pull them back in. So the quick answer there is you can feature other things and like link other videos by having a liked video thing on your playlist, but it doesn't do anything in regards to networking yourself in the platform. Why do we need a business account beyond the multiple users? Mostly algorithmically speaking. That's just really the biggest answer, is it operates differently algorithmically than a consumer channel does. Next question is, you can have a video, but how do people find you? That's the big question. That is where things like the description for the videos, the consistency of how you're marketing and how you lead people there across multiple channels will come into play. Marketing strategy is very much the discussion that this would fall into. So, I mean, I could spend another hour talking about that. So we'll table that for another time. That's a great question to talk with your field marketing specialist or your SSA with, to talk about what can we do to increase viewership across your platform with your sphere, and then, you know, go from there. The strategy is very individual. Can you customize the headers in the YouTube account? Yes, you can, but it has to, just like anything, you make sure it's an image you own. And I will, in the recap, show you guys a link to where YouTube's guide is. So it will show you how and where that picture gets cropped and what it will look like on the website versus a tablet versus a cell phone. Can I create 2 brand accounts with the same Gmail account? Yes and no. You can have your brand account can manage multiple YouTube channels. You cannot have multiple brand accounts under the same Gmail. And that's part of why I think I haven't been able to find the answer to transitioning a user account or a consumer account to a brand account, is because you would essentially be duplicating that email and you can't have 2 of the same emails. I have about 50 videos that I can upload. Does it make sense to upload them in a short period of time or spread them out? Spread them out. Put them on a calendar. Do not upload them all at once. As I've said a ton of times, consistency is key, and consistency is key because that's how algorithmically and numbers-wise these systems get fed. Not only is there content on the channel, but how long the content is, how much engagement is it getting, how frequently is stuff put on the channel, and therefore how frequently is the channel engaged with. I would schedule it out and give yourself, you know, a solid quarter and a bit if you've got 50 that you can twirl it out through, and then make sure you're utilizing multiple channels as a part of this system. Again, guiding everybody back to the website with a call to action at the end of the video or the beginning of the video, whatever it may be, to make sure that everybody is constantly focused around the hub that is your brand. If I already have a business account on Google, how can I transfer that to my YouTube account? If you already have a brand account on Google, and that is different. A business account isn't a personal account that you use for business. A business account is a brand account. If you have a brand account, you can create a brand account YouTube page. If you do not, you cannot. How do you change the thumbnail? So the thumbnail gets tricky. You will get a few options that you can choose from after the video has processed. You can only upload custom ones once you have verified your brand account page, and that is just a process of, going to your email, verifying the email, and I believe there's sometimes some criteria that has to come into play in regards to using your own custom thumbnail. But basically, once the account has been verified and you've gone through all the steps to, validate that you are the one that uses it, when you are uploading the video or when you go into the video editor of YouTube Studio and go to edit a specific video, you can see where the thumbnail option exists. Will this recording be available later? Yes, on my YouTube page, as well as a e-blast that I send out to all of you guys as well. How do you promote your YouTube video on Instagram? Again, that comes into a marketing strategy conversation to give you guys to answer it in 30 seconds. It's all about, again, what is the ask? What is the video about? If I am talking about, hey, I'm going to be posting a video on Saturday, which is a tour of this lovely new house. I walked through it with my gloves and everything on, safety first, but I went through, walked through, shot a video, did a walkthrough, talking about the community, talking about the house, talking about all kinds of fun stuff. Be sure to check it out going onto my YouTube on Saturday. That could be a quick 30-second post that goes to your Instagram and to your Instagram stories, which would also share to your Facebook stories, that reminds everybody that this is the event, this is when it's happening, and it's on your YouTube channel. Same kind of thing if it was a live event happening on my Facebook channel. We do the same thing, talk about it there, guide everybody, tell them, hey, go check out that page if you want to find out what's going on. Are you going to do a marketing class video for our Facebook, YouTube, etc.? Yes, eventually. If you guys are, if you guys really do love this stuff that we're putting together, I will send out, as I said in the recap, there is a link to a survey, like I'm sure you've heard all of my colleagues talk about. The more feedback I get, the better I can kind of tailor these things for you guys. I appreciate anything that you have to share. It is always helpful. I don't see them. They go right to my management team and they send me back whatever I need to do and whatever I need to get out of you guys. This is just the starter for YouTube. Because of the confusion that happened with the scheduling with Sales Pro, I put everything in at the end of the week and they put it in the calendar for me. I'm going to do these classes again next week, just to make sure everybody gets to them. And I'll be building to some more larger stuff in regards to, how we want to build marketing strategy over the course of the next couple of weeks. Because as far as my desk is concerned, we're not going back to the offices anytime soon. So I'll be working on new classes and stuff like that for you guys to take and digest. Why would people use YouTube Live instead of just post the video? That's an easy question to answer, actually. It's the same the rationale for Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Live, in the grand scheme of things, right? If you've already got a semi-decent following, and even if it's only 10 people, the way algorithmically consumers are driven to specific content, live content will grab consumers. According to Facebook's data, using them as an example, Facebook live videos have about a 50 to 70% more engagement with the average consumer than a traditional posted video, solely because the event is happening in real time.
Can you post it after it goes live?
Correct. After every live event you do get a video recording back. For example, things like virtual open houses or tours. I'm a big fan of having that, all that kind of stuff outlined. And let's say you're going to do the same presentation on the half hour for like an hour and a half. And you take that first walkthrough that's like 10, 15 minutes and you cut that down. And that's the video that gets shared beyond the live event. And you would use that, like we were using the example of like putting something as a live event and then adding videos on other channels to remind everybody this is when it is happening. And then you can share that subsection of the live event that you've pre-planned on, that first walkthrough of the property that you know that, okay, a couple of people might be here for, might have a couple of good engaging questions, and then I can share this out again to all of my sphere, post it on my YouTube channel, and utilize it as another call to action, reminding people during that live video, hey, if you want access to a recording of this, I am going to be posting it on all of my social media channels and my YouTube channel next week. I'll be sending it to my sphere tomorrow. So if you want to be on my mailing list, head to my website and sign up. And now you've built in not only a guide to your other channels, but back to your website where someone can be on your mailing list and now is moved beyond the white noise category and into potential business or potential prospects.
And that's the same with Facebook Live?
Correct.
I got a
Same,
quick-
like the strategy is going to be same across the board because the utilization of, you know, what a live video does algorithmically in the system versus a posted one is going to be the same traction wise across the board. What really benefits you is how are you marketing it beforehand, and then what are you doing to utilize that video after the fact to create more engagement for the next one.
As far as the Gmail email account you use to associate with the business YouTube account, should you create a unique email for that, or would you suggest if you already have, let's say, Gmail account that you're using for your business, just go ahead and use that one?
I would create, again, if your business account is a branded Gmail account, then yeah, go ahead and use that because the consumer is never going to see what email you're using for this account unless you are sharing that. Like, for example, I have a fake Gmail that I use for my YouTube page, but if you go contact me on that page, it's my CB NorCal email. So it's only whatever you want the consumer to see. The big thing here is whether or not you're leveraging the branded account versus a traditional YouTube account.
Makes sense. I'd love to see some workshops too, and I think this speaks to what Kilo was one of her questions as well. Is it'd be great to maybe kind of piecemeal this up a little bit and do some workshops so that we have kind of can actually walk away with some of this content actually live and running for us or what have you. Just a thought. I think that'd be extremely valuable.
Awesome. I can definitely look into that. Like I said, this is just the 100 or basically the 100 level, and I will
got
build
everybody hooked, I think.
programs based on the feedback I get from you guys. So if that's something that agents are definitely interested in doing, I'll make sure that I tailor something for it.
Excellent. Thanks. Good stuff, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. So I've got another question in here. You need to make this 2 classes and it needs to be slower when I am showing people across the screen. That is good feedback. I can definitely break this up into 2 classes. You keep saying sending to my sphere. I want this to go to the public and not my sphere. The public will have my buyer and not my sphere. How do I get this to the public? Well, advertising, everything that goes out on this channel goes to the public. The grand scheme of like marketing strategy and how you leverage something beyond your spheres, that's where it starts. Especially in our industry, creating content for listing purposes that can both reach your current sphere, which consists of both an audience as well as other agents that might have a qualified buyer, is where we start from. And then the whole idea of pushing out to that +1 comes from things like the community related content and the stuff that you build into the channel that becomes less about the individual listing side and more about the slice of life content, the personable content, and especially, like I keep harping on community content because of the specific time we're in. Agents that are getting a lot of public attention right now are the ones that are guiding their consumers and their sphere and their audience back to things on their websites or on their social networks or things like that, that are, telling their consumers, hey, this is where you can go to find, clothing drives, blood drives, things like that. Here is where I have a running list of local restaurants that are open. I have agents that are conducting, via Microsoft Teams interviews with business owners and things like that to not only cross promote another local business, but again, establish yourself as that figure in the community. So on the other side of this, when a lot of the discussion shifts back from community to, hey, this is what's going on in the market. This is now what's happening on the other side of what was going on the last few months. And here's what I've had in the pipeline that is now coming out into the stratosphere. That audience of initial people has grown beyond what we started with because of all the additional content and community related messaging that has gone out. I mean, everything about this is really organic, and it sounds very time consuming, but it's something that only can be built from your own individual seat, because you guys are those experts and you sell homes in these communities. And to build yourself as that knowledge base and resource for your consumers, you need to show them with channels like this and with content that you can create that you indeed know more than just, you know, price per square foot and appliances and school districts, but you know about where they're trying to live and can communicate that to them ahead of time by expressing who you are and how you conduct business through these channels as well. So in regards to getting public attention, I mean, you know, again, content is king, right? The more we're putting out there and the more you can find stuff that is relevant and relatable and of value to the consumer you're trying to reach, the better chance you have at growing beyond your sphere into a public space. It's super rare that you got, you know, the occasional guys like Tim Smith who find the right video at the right time and are like spoofing things like his Teach Me How to Duffy thing that goes viral. This isn't the kind of industry where you're going to go viral in very easily. But if you work hard at it, and more importantly, have a strategy to make sure that it's not just about the content going on this channel, but it's about the content guiding people back to the rest of your resources where they can be enveloped in everything that your brand does. That's the goal of these things. They're marketing tools, not the be all end all of any given listing or promotion. Can you put a Facebook Live video on YouTube? Yes, after you have gone live. That very much ties into what I was talking about, taking that video that comes back and having whatever pre-planned section you're going to trim to show to your consumers after the fact. That's where that aspect comes in. Very rarely are you going to find a item, unless you're like out at something or at a special event or something like that, where you would then upload the whole live stream. Because just to put it out there, right? Live streams, statistically speaking, using Facebook's and Instagram's user data for the last couple of years, like the real sweet spot to start gaining big traction is you want to be on for at least about 30 minutes to 90 minutes. And that's that like window where you're going to grab some good attention. And the cool thing is, especially from a listing standpoint, if you're doing open houses or tours, every potential viewer is another potential, you know, lead that you can follow up with, all happening in real time. But I've digressed enough on the live stuff. I don't see any other questions in the chat. You're welcome to everybody saying thank you. I do appreciate the positive feedback. This is the first time I have put together a YouTube class for our agents. So thank you guys for being the guinea pig on the very first class. I'm going to take some of these notes that you guys have given me, retool them and apply them for the class tomorrow and again next week, and we'll start putting together some broader, or sorry, not broader, but some more focused classes that will allow you guys, like Paul said, to be able to feel a little bit more confident about not just the 100 level, but so you guys can kind of take some of this stuff and walk away with an action plan in hand. So thank you guys for being here. Everybody, you know, you've got a great team behind you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. And again, keep an eye out for my recap. If you get the chance to do the survey, I would greatly appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Anuj.